play action, it's something that we wanted more incorporated into this offense, some form or fashion, along with a couple other things that we wanted to see from Ken Dorsey this year. And when you look at this graphic, Eric, that you put together, like just the success that the Bills have seen with play action, especially under center play action, it's just their under center game has been tremendous, but especially from a play action standpoint.
Yeah, according to PFF, Josh, among all quarterbacks with 50% of the snaps, he's only running play action 22.9%. That's ranked 19th, actually, right behind Trevor Lawrence. So, I mean, honestly, I'd like to see that number go up, and this is why. So, I broke it up. Like, obviously, Josh is really good at play action. He's got, 5 touchdowns or so off of play action altogether. He's really good. He's got really good ratings in pretty much every category. But it's specifically him under center and getting the ball to Diggs and Davis down the field. So, look at the under center snaps, guys, for play action for Josh Allen. He's ranked first in EPA per dropback. What's that? That's telling you basically every time he's under center, runs play action, they're adding a point to the scoreboard. Like that's mind blowing. He's ranked fifth in completion percentage at 84.2% while under center. He has a 0% off target rate, which is first. His yards per attempt, which we saw in this game, we're going to get to the film, 17.3 yards per attempt when under center running play action. First in yards, 329 yards. He is second in touchdowns with 2 from under center. He has a 73.7% first down per attempt rate, which is third overall, which is crazy. He's moving the chains basically every time. And then explosive per dropback rate is 36.8%. That's first overall. So he's getting those explosive plays, which I think technically is 16 yards or more in the passing game under center. So while overall we've seen some big plays from Josh Allen and this offense when they run play action, whether it's gun or under center, when you're looking at explosive plays in this offense right now, a lot of that's coming from under center running that play action game.
Yeah, and some of it is due to the nature of play action in general and the under center piece. Some of it is due to, Josh Allen's ability to deceive with, the ball with his dropbacks. He's so good at it. We've highlighted it a bunch. I also think some of it's due to how successful they've been on the ground this year. Like, yes, you don't need to have a good run game to be good with play action, but it helps. You cannot tell me that if you have a good run game, that doesn't influence second level defenders or third level defenders to come up and play that run a little more. And like we talked about, the Bills are second overall on the ground in EPA and second in EPA per rush attempt. So the Bills ground game working in tandem with that under center play action piece. And then Eric, even just from an under center perspective overall, not just play action, the Bills offense is first in under center passing EPA at 19.84. The Vikings are second at 7.67.
There's a gap there.
It's quite a big gap, a little bit. They're first in positive play percentage at 75%, first in QB rating at 152.1, second in completion percentage at 80%, first in yards per attempt at 16.4, and then 2 big ones, no sacks, no interceptions, and the third lowest pressure percentage at 15.8. So whether you're talking about under center straight drop back or the under center play action piece, they are succeeding there overall efficiently, explosively, schematically, and Dorsey continues to lean into it, and it continues to pay dividends. As I've said, pay dividends way more in one episode of this show than I thought I ever would in my life.
Again, I mean, 22.9%. I would bump that up even more. Like, continue to bump that up. Like, be 25 to 27% at the very least. And early on in his career, he was up there up with Brian Daboll. So, enough talking. Let's get to the film. Right off the bat, we get that under center play action play, and this is just a ridiculous throw from Josh Allen off of play action. Nice deep drop. Incredible athleticism to get this pass off initially and to get out of that pocket and kind of fade away and make this throw down the field, showing off that arm talent. But the anticipation, Anthony, is just unreal. Turns his back to the defense. Cook tries to get a piece of Long. Long avoids it. And then Josh is going to start to kind of fade away this way. But watch when he releases this ball. Look where right there, he's starting his delivery. Look at Diggs hasn't even made his turn yet. His head's not even snapped around yet. No. And then Josh is able to throw it down there with his big arm. I mean, just unreal stuff. Not many quarterbacks can show that type of awareness pre to post snap, with him turning his back, the athleticism to essentially backpedal and fade away on this throw, away from the pressure, and then throw that frozen rope down the field.
All of those things like are hard individually. Like this would be a hard throw to make just falling away to your left without your momentum carrying you through. Throwing with this level of anticipation, roughly what, like 30 yards downfield. Again, as you highlighted, like Diggs is not out of his break when Allen lets the ball go. And not only does it get to Diggs, it gets to Diggs with precision. Like it is right on the numbers. Boom, Allen lets it go. Diggs just comes out of his break. And that's where you see Diggs locate the football, comes back to it as well, to make sure the defender can't make a play. I also like
Mm-hmm.
Diggs's route on
Yeah.
this piece, like gets into his man. And yes, you highlight that
Yeah.
as Diggs starts to sell, like that inside, he starts leaning. He's got his eyes inside. The body language says, I'm going inside. And then he just skirt and pops it outside. It's just a nice piece. And especially when you juxtapose it with, Tua at times in this game turned his back to the line of scrimmage. And when he turned back around towards the line, the picture had changed and it caused
Mm-hmm.
problems for him. The opposite here on this play. Josh turns his back. It leads to a big positive explosive play downfield. And a lot of it being tied to just the alien nature to Josh Allen. Shout out to Cook, whose pass protection has been better this year.
Yeah.
This rep, not so much, but he gives the effort. Allen, calm, cool, collected. Okay, cool. I'm just going to move to my left and then fire it downfield with, I don't know, arm talent, arm arrogance, however you want to label it. That's not a normal throw. And Eric, this one's cool because Ken Dorsey sucks because he doesn't know how to use Deontay Hardy.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about getting impact from Hardy, even though he's not getting the production. And obviously, this play was preying on, the defense here and how the Bills have swung it to Hardy. And yeah, I think it lost 3 yards. Was it against the Commanders or the Raiders? It didn't work,
Yeah.
but they obviously studied the film and they're keying in on. Everyone said, "Hey, I feel like Dorsey's being too predictable with Hardy, and that's why the defenses are keying in on him." Well, guess what? They used it against him on this play, and it's a similar play that the Bills used against Minnesota. I think Josh's rookie year, where they got Kroom
Mm-hmm.
on this little wheel route up the sideline. So what they're doing is trying to show that, hey, we're gonna throw this swing, and you're getting. Let me start at the beginning because watch Sherfield, inside leverage by Howard at the top of the screen. Watch how he works to that inside shoulder to
Yes.
pull him, and that pulls Howard to the middle, but more importantly, also gets the attention of that safety and allows this stock block and wheel up the sideline. Like that little detail from Sherfield is what allowed this route to be open from Gabe Davis. So these guys are all keying in on Hardy on that swing route. And this guy, Bethel, he is responsible for anything that goes out and then up the field. So this wheel route from Gabe is actually his responsibility, but that little hesitation cost him. And it's thanks to the big arm of Josh Allen, the rhythm and the
Mm-hmm.
throw on a rope to the front of the end zone to Gabe Davis for the touchdown.
How good has Gabe Davis been, like, really the past several years at, like, the deception on these types of plays, on these, like, play action chunk plays or type of misdirection, like, type pieces? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we see it. What was the big touchdown against the Rams in week
Yeah.
one last year? He's had a couple explosive plays like that too. Just the ability to sell like he's blocking, and he comes out good pacing, good rhythm out of his stance. Exactly like you said, like he's selling that stalk block. Like, look at his form. He's eyeing up Bethel. Like, hey, I'm going to block you. Hey, I'm going to block you. Psych. And he just takes off and bursts out, and it's wide open. This play, again, like, not to continue to bang on that drum, it was so nice to see Dorsey use this kind of against the defense, knowing that, hey, this is what our tendency has been. Hey, we've been too predictable with this. Let's use that predictability and throw the defense for a loop. And Miami gets fooled. And good job by Josh really playing into the whole piece with his body language. Like he gets perpendicular to the line. He's pointed right at Hardy. He gives the hard shoulder fake and really sells it with the upper body like he's going that way. You even look and I think it's David Long in the middle from that angle. Watch him go with exactly right there. Watch him go with Allen. Then it's like, oh, let me go back because he doesn't know like where the ball is going.
Yeah.
Allen, like that body language piece, let alone the route of Hardy and what Gabe Davis does. It's a really nice piece. And it brings me back to there was a quote from Dorsey last year. He said like a big thing when you call plays is getting everybody to understand the bigger picture for the player, why you're calling it. And sometimes calling a play isn't just for the benefit of that play in the moment. It could lead to something bigger down the line in that game
Mhm.
or in another week. And this play is an example of that. Like this type of look that the Bills had shown previously, they put it on tape and put it on tape. Also, it could have worked a couple times. I know you put out a good tweet that the one opportunity to Hardy would have worked, but there were some missed opportunities in the blocking
Yeah.
aspect up front. But you put these looks on tape, defenses know it, and then you flip the script and put it on their head, and you get a wide open Gabe Davis. Really nice play and execution.
All right, back to under center play action to Diggs. 12 personnel. Again, look at the formation, the tight formation, under center. And these type of formations, we talked about it a bunch last year, is when you condense these formations with 12 personnel, 2 tight ends, they got to bring a safety down.
Mm-hmm.
And that allows you to get a lot of single high looks, a lot of cover 3 type looks, cover 3, cover 1. And that's not something in prior years the Bills were getting a lot of. They weren't able to dictate single high coverages. They were seeing a lot of 2 high shells. Well, you get under center, you throw a little different formation and personnel in there. You're getting those 3 deep looks. And now you're able to run that play action, get that second level to come downhill,
Mm-hmm.
or at the very least, stop their feet. But then you're getting the chasm behind them in front of the safety, inside of the corners. You get a nice route from Diggs on this. Watch how his alignments inside the numbers. Watch him attack the outside leverage by the corner, push him outside more. So this corner has to maintain that leverage as he's getting into his drop. And then it's just too easy. It's too easy over the middle for 16 yards to Stephon Diggs.
Poor Cater Kohu just was put in hell this whole
Yeah.
game, matched up against Stephon Diggs. Here he is again against him. I love your point there with Diggs. That was, my two big takeaways for this are that second level, honoring the run action and the space that it creates. And then, Stephon Diggs pushing the outside. Kohu has to honor it. Like, he has to respect that initial attack from Diggs. And Diggs uses it just to open him up and make him more vulnerable inside. And then Allen hits it. Again, I'm going to continue to, because I love the run game and how it continues to connect. I'm going to continue to bang the drum that because the Bills' run game has been successful, that's why you're seeing more commitment from second level defenders. And again, as we continue to talk about personnel, look at the personnel that is on the field for the Miami Dolphins. The front that they have, you've got 2 traditional linebackers, again, like on that second level, what they continue to do. And then they walk that safety down because of the threat of the run,
Yep.
because of the potential of the run. So then you show play action, it just sucks those defenders in even more. And when you bring that extra defender around the line of scrimmage or in the box like Javon Holland on this play, when they commit, you've got 8 guys in the box and they're all coming forward. Now there's only 3 on the back end. There's so much space to work with. And for a receiver like Stephon Diggs, who is so adept at exploiting any type of space you give him, that's a problem. And that's part of the reason why the Bills have been so successful with this under center play action piece, because of how teams have to honor their initial look. It creates so much space when they run the play action piece.
Dorsey getting Diggs one-on-one, motion across the formation, going right at Cater, the corner again. But more importantly, who's not in the play over the top? Javon Holland. So you're getting Diggs one-on-one from under center, play action pass. Really nice. I'd say it's almost like a double move. I think some teams call it like a squirrel. You're running like a double move, like you're running an out, then you're getting vertical, then you're snapping it off at the boundary. Just great work from Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. Great effort. When this play happened, Anthony, I'm like, oh no, did he push off? Like,
Yeah.
did he get a little too physical at the top? But just great work. Under center play action. Again, look at all the space that they have. These guys are all occupied. You get the one-on-ones outside and anticipation again from the right hash. I mean, look when he's throwing it. Diggs is still running upfield. He hasn't snapped around yet. As soon as he breaks it off, the ball's on him when that maximum separation happens. And then he just grinds. He just works. And watch the sideline of the Dolphins react to this from the end zone angle. This was incredible. This was really big too, right, Ant? Right before half, 3:12 left in the first half. Really, really big play from Josh Allen to Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, this kind of like took their soul on this play. Real quick, I want to bring the comment from Pops, who said in the '90s, Thurman Thomas got fined $100 for throwing a ball into the crowd, and then he says inflation? Question mark? Question mark? I like that. Well done, Pops. Yeah, look at whoever is in the all black next to Tyreek Hill. Watch him just drop his head as
Yeah.
Diggs comes out of the tackle right here. Just
All the hands up,
yeah,
like in their face. Oh boy.
dude, that's a gut punch. Like it's understandable that if he routes you up and gets the completion. But you got two guys right there, and neither of them could bring him down. This play was eerily reminiscent to the Juju Smith-Schuster touchdown against the Bills last year in the regular
Yeah.
season. Bills ended up going on to win that game, though, unlike Miami in this one. And again, under center piece creates a single high look. When you have that single high look, you are going to have one-on-one opportunities on the outside. And when you have arguably the best wide receiver in the game, that's going to be a problem. And when you have arguably the best wide receiver in the game matched up, no disrespect, against Cater Kohu, like, you're just going to continue to spam that matchup. And then you add in the Josh Allen piece and throwing the distance downfield from this is almost a far hash throw to the opposite sideline, and he throws it with anticipation. He throws it on a line, and he throws it with placement. And you have that. You have the concept that creates the one-on-one. You have the tremendous wide receiver who eats up the corner with just, again, this is like the one where Kohu's just in hell. Like, where do I go? Where do I go? Oh, he's going over the top. Oh, I'm lost. Okay, cool. Let me come up and try and make the tackle. I think I got him. I don't got him. Just, there's so many things that make this play work, from the uniqueness of Allen and his strengths and skill set, to the same thing for Stephon Diggs, but to the initial grouping, personnel, under center piece, and the opportunity that it creates for these players to win. This is how you set your players up for success. And then the Bills have the talent that can do it. Save a whale rider running back, whose name I love. He comments all the time on this guy's coverage. I absolutely love it. He says, I thought the same. This was coming back. This was an amazing play. And thanks for the great work, guys. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for the super chat and the kind words. And yeah, especially from the broadcast angle, Diggs was so open that my thought was, he probably pushed off. And no, I just feel so bad for Kohu. Like, I just feel so bad.
And watch, we talked about make him feel it and finish plays. Watch Torrance right here just drop his weight on top of that guy. And again, we talk about it, under center play action, really nice pocket. And the guys, the thing about play action, guys, is it's selling run. So it's meant to get the offensive linemen on those pass rushers, on those defensive linemen quickly. So it allows them to engage quickly. And some of the pass blockers for the Bills, they're better in that capacity. They want to get up on the guy. They want to use their ability to anchor McGovern, Torrance, and that power to finish near the line of scrimmage. So running play action gets the offensive lineman on the D lineman quicker. It eats up moves. It doesn't allow the pass rusher to dictate the play here. And so you get that, and you're able to finish near the line of scrimmage. You get these nice deep pockets. And then if you give Josh Allen time, we talked about it last week. If you give Josh Allen time, even if there's only two guys in routes down the field, if you give him enough time, he's going to find those guys, whether he's in structure or out of structure. And it just plays to his strengths when you're talking about his athleticism and his big arm and his ability to throw the ball anywhere on the field, given a play action pocket like that.
Yeah, if you give him that time with his cannon and his release, like, he's going to make you pay. And also, one last thing, you called out the socks for Diggs. I really hate that he doesn't put his mouthpiece in ever. It drives me nuts. I don't know how it doesn't distract him. Like, it's never in, which also, like, my other point is, why even have the mouthpiece? It's not college. You're not mandated. Why even have it? Like, if we ever get Stephon Diggs in the film room, that is 1,000% the first question I am asking, because it drives me insane.
On to this play, 1st and 10 situation, 12 personnel, motion, under center, another play action pass. It's one that they typically like to throw to Dawson Knox. This one, they're trying to get it to Kincaid, but this is a little more outside of structure. But this is the dimension that James Cook adds to this offense, right, Anthony? You know, Josh Allen extends a play and hits him down the field. But there's so much I like about this play. So you have that motion from Sherfield, and the Bills were basically spamming the Dolphins on this play. This is a speed motion that they use a bunch for Tyreek Hill to get him on the outside, on the perimeter, to run either this route right here or just down the field, or even the post. We saw it last year where he ran that against Taron Johnson. But so they're spamming the Dolphins on this play. But I really like how Josh is able to manipulate that pocket, you know, with some pressure in his face, with an exotic, more, I don't say exotic. It's not a normal type pass protection with Mitch Morse kind of popping out and spinning out like that. But it is one that the Bills have run. It's one that the Bills brought over when Dable was here. But Josh's ability to, avoid this pressure and then make something out of nothing was huge. This was a 48-yard gain to James Cook down the sideline outside of structure.
Yeah, this, like you said, there is so much to like, and I love what Morse does here. Like, again, not a normal ask for a center. You know, he sells that outside zone piece initially with his step and then peels back. And
Hmm.
he gets put into a disadvantageous situation where he's kind of the nail and Chubb is coming down full speed from depth, being the hammer, and he gets into Morse's chest. But watch Morse anchor. Like,
Hmm.
he gets driven back a little bit, but he gets those feet in the ground. He arches and he stalemates him and
Yep.
drives him back. And Allen senses that pressure, but then Allen's able to gather himself because Morse anchors. And then Allen's like, okay, I see that space like you highlighted there. Let
Yeah.
me step off and run to the right. Now, David Long, who you highlighted, he gets put into that bind because Allen takes off. Long steps up thinking, okay, the ball is coming out right now. And like you said, the James Cook piece, his feel for space, he sees Long come up and he's like, oh, I'm just going to go to where all the green grass is. And he just goes right up the sideline. And you see it from the sideline angle. Here comes Long as Allen takes up, and Cook is like, oh, screw it. I'm just going to go vertically. And
Yeah.
then Allen, like, what a beautiful teardrop little floater, like a point guard driving the lane. You
Right.
see that space. Actually, even if you wanted to, like, Long is kind of put in a bind here
He's in
too.
a
Like,
bind. Yeah.
yeah, like if Allen wanted, he could have gone to the right and dropped it over on the inside to Dawson Knox. So this is Allen again creating a play out of structure, putting the defense in a bind. Great job by Cook. I hate that Dawson Knox doesn't get the block there.
I
This should have been a
know.
touchdown. This is such a stupid thing to nitpick. I immediately thought touchdown. Like I could, and I also think too, maybe like, did he think he was going to get called for a penalty? So he's like, no, I don't want to like touch him. I
Yeah,
really
you
want
got to
them to.
run some interference there,
You
even if it's
got
like getting ahead of him and kind of butt blocking him, with his back and just kind of walling him off. Like
Yep.
you want to see him do that. But we like David Long, the linebacker. But great hustle from him. But yeah, I would have
Yeah.
liked to see Knox get up ahead of him. I bet you
Yeah.
he would tell you the same thing, right, in the film
Yep.
room if you were watching this again.
Yeah, this is one I think like Boris is showing and be like, I would show this one right after his angry run earlier and be like, what the hell are you doing on this one? Also
Bring him
shout
back
out,
down to earth.
right? Yeah, just to humble him real quick. Also on this one too, like not to knock him again. Javon Holland is this deep player, and Cook puts a move on him, and Holland just tries to go for like a punch to try and punch the ball out, but he's left grasping like for nothing. Cook just
Yeah,
simply
he
just
did.
goes by him, and Holland gets put out. And again, you don't see that often. Like Javon Holland is, I don't want to say a racer because it's already a big gain on this play, but he's usually shuts those big gains down on the back end. He'll force that guy out of bounds or make the tackle. Cook makes him miss in space. But again, so a funny spam design initially, but then the creation out of structure along with some uniqueness and some skill set pieces leads to a big play.